What's up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mark, what's going on? Randy, afternoon to you, brother. What's going on? How's everybody doing today? Let's give everybody a few seconds to roll on in. Iman, if I said that properly, what's going on, brother? Eller, what's up, bro? Hope everybody had a good day today. I hope everybody had a good day and they didn't get psyched out, right? Because it looked a little worrisome a little earlier, right? We're going to go over this beautiful V-shaped recovery that we have going on. Good. All right, so let's just jump right into it. So I hope everybody had a great day today. I know the markets were kind of like, we're a little but we're going to go over what is going on and why tomorrow is probably going to be a little bit more volatility. But we should be smooth sailings probably the day after, I would imagine, right? Given today, so, today I was looking at Bitcoin. I'm like, what the heck is going on? We jumped up to 53,000 earlier, right? Such a weird day today. We jumped up 53, made a new local high, right? And then, right after that, we saw this enormous just sell-off all the way coming down towards around 50,700. The good thing is that we did hold that 50,000 mark. We didn't really drop too far down under 51. We held it. And you can see, obviously, we are having somewhat of a recovery. Now, we do have the FOMC minutes meeting tomorrow, where it's not really a meeting. It's just where they release updated minutes on the previous meeting, that the Feds had. And for whatever reason, it always will kind of throw around, some uncertainty in the market. And you guys understand, whenever there's any kind of uncertainty, usually they consider crypto a risk-on asset. There's going to be a lot of volatility with crypto and other stocks that they consider a risk-on asset, right? So the stock market actually didn't do that well today as well, right? We had the SPX down 0.6%. Dow Jones was down, not too much, but you can see that it wasn't a green day across the board for a majority of investments, right? So tomorrow we will have, in the morning, they'll release the minutes. And this just kind of goes with what we've been talking about for the last few weeks, last month or two, as far as these FOMC meetings. A lot of people are speculating that, they were particularly calling for March, where we were going to ease rates. Well, we saw the CPI report came a little higher than normal. I still think that the numbers were perfectly fine, but with the market, we had a forecast of 2.9% inflation. Well, it didn't hit that forecast. It was at 3.1, which really wasn't nothing crazy to come off of. But the fact is that it's throwing investors off, because now they're thinking that Jerome's going to maybe do more pauses instead of more rate cuts as far as this year. So with that being said, we saw Bitcoin, like I said, drop down towards around 50,780. We'll call it 50,800, right? But really what I'm more focused on is us finding that support and really finding this V-shaped recovery, right? I mean, it looked for a while that we were going to start dropping down. I was like, damn, we might be dropping down to 49,000 briefly. Well, you can see, obviously, we didn't make it all the way down there. And the fact that we are hovering above 52,000 after such a dramatic drop, which it really wasn't a dramatic drop, but if you're zoomed in on the charts like we are here, it was a solid move, right? Because this morning it really looked like we were breaking 53 and that we were going to maybe see some crazier numbers coming up, right? And it was very short-lived, and it really just reversed very quickly. So, and you can see most of the market today did the same thing. But what's the one project today that actually outshined everybody. What's the one project today that outshined everybody? And we've been covering it on the channel. And you guys already know Jasmine. Jasmine today was the big winner for today. I mean, in my eyes, I'm sure there was some other projects that maybe had some solid days, but Jasmine was the big winner for today, breaking that 1 cent mark. Right now, currently sitting at around the 11, we'll call it, but it did jump up almost to about the 12 mark right here before hitting its head multiple times at the top of this fib retracement. So Jasmine's looking good. I saw somebody talking about in the comments, because I did come out with a video earlier today about Jasmine, and I said, earlier, we were basically around this area this morning when I posted the video, and I said, if we do see any kind of a cool off or a retracement, we're probably going to see that 99 area, maybe a little bit further down, but it's going to be short-lived, and we're going to most likely be hovering around that 99, right? And we broke down to about the 93 right here, you can see, but look where we were pretty much finding some support. It maybe wasn't exactly on my we did bounce multiple times before we broke. We did find support right here at this 10 mark, pretty much to the 99, and you can see we broke right under, bouncing off this fib retracement. Right off this fib retracement, and you can see pretty much just needed that bounce, for us to confirm that we were going to still stay bullish, and that's exactly what it did. And you can see it went on to make new local highs for Jasmine. So, anybody that's invested in Jasmine, shout out to them. You guys know what we've been talking about, since the last few weeks. A lot of people have been asking about Jasmine, and back here I was just telling you guys, honestly, I would just be accumulating. Because you saw a lot of projects go very parabolic 2 months ago. Jasmine did do really well, but it didn't really go parabolic, right? So I was like, this thing probably has a solid run that it's got building up into the project. Now, what I was saying was, somebody jumped in on the comments earlier and said that there was a big deal or something going on with Japan. I did look around, and I didn't find it particularly on any of the big crypto news channels or anything like that. So if you are in the chat today, let us know what you guys heard about as far as Jasmine and Japan. Something with Japan going on that's causing Jasmine to actually go parabolic. And I see what Eller's talking about. Another big story. Ethereum hit 3K today for the first time in nearly 2 years, as amid rising Ethereum ETF excitement. So we'll jump into that here in a second. But as far as Jasmine, I mean, this thing looks outrageous, right? It just looks spectacular. As far as for today, let's look at the volume for Jasmine. And we're going to get into everything else here. I just wanted to kind of address the elephant in the room. You can see Jasmine almost $1 billion in volume today, $843 million, up 80% in volume. Just for today, up 50%. In the last 7 days, it's up 90%, 94%. And for the last month, this thing is up over 100%. So this project is killing it. And you know what's crazy is it had such a crazy day today. And look at the market cap. The market cap is still relatively small at only $571 million. So this, honestly, even if we see some kind of a retracement for Jasmine after this big move, I think it's going to hold a lot of its gains. And this thing is going to have another leg up eventually here coming up soon when we kind of get past this FOMC meeting minutes and, Bitcoin kind of starts jumping back up, like I said, to these solid numbers that we're expecting towards this happening. I'm expecting that Jasmine is going to continue to rally pretty much, right? But you can tell that something did happen. This wasn't just a out of the whim. Everybody was like, you know what? Let's just jump into Jasmine today. No, something happened, and someone did put in the comments as far as Japan and Jasmine. Let's actually, while we are on here, let's just look it up. Jasmine and Japan. Let's see here. So this is the actual Jasmine website. So you know what? I didn't even realize that. I guess Jasmine is Japan native. All right. Didn't realize that. Well, I guess we'll have to come back. I'll do some research and maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow as far as what's going on, particularly for Jasmine and why we saw such a massive pump. But regardless, very nice. If anybody's invested into that, shout out to you guys because you guys are the winners for today. Now, as far as Ethereum's been doing great. Now, let's jump into this news article real quick. Craig, what's going on? Nico, Modesto, what's going on, guys? So Ethereum hits 3K for the first time in nearly 2 years amid rising Ethereum ETF excitement. So the price of Ether, the native token for Ethereum network, rose past 3,000 for the first time since April 2022 on Tuesday, continuing a recent hot streak. Ether's price rose about 1.6% over the past 24 hours and has risen over 12% in the past week, outpacing other cryptocurrencies according to the data from CoinGecko. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about, so Ethereum ETF. Do you think that it's a little too soon to be talking about Ethereum ETFs? What's your opinion on this? Me personally, I think Ethereum has, it's been around for a very long time, right? I mean, it's the second to largest project. It's been out since 2013, over 10 years. And believe it or not, there are other countries that do already have Ethereum ETFs, like Canada particularly has a Ethereum ETF already in the books, right? But I guess, obviously America being the bigger market, that's what everybody's looking for. Me personally, I think, if you give Ethereum the ETF, which I think they should, right? Where do you draw the line? And because other projects are going to be right after that. Like, does Solana get some kind of a, an ETF, right? Does XRP, because people have already been talking about XRP, right? Where does it stop, right? So, the reason why I say this is because I feel that this is going to be something where they're going to kick the can down the road. We saw how long it took for Bitcoin to really get official as far as that ETF. That I think that Ethereum is going to be a very long time. I think it's going to be at least another 2 years before it gets some kind of a ETF. Do I want to see an ETF for Ethereum? Heck yeah, that would be awesome, because that would be just even more exposure, right? More liquidity coming into the market, whether it be directly through Ethereum or if it's some kind of an ETF derivative, that's traded off the stock market. So, I mean, I think that it would be a plus for sure. I just think that it's going to be something like a big hype. And then when people find out, or the feds come out and they're like, well, no, we're definitely not doing an Ethereum ETF right now. It's going to not wreck the project, but it's going to, just bring it down, So it's right now for Ethereum, it's running off a hype, hype that the Ethereum or the ETF is going to somehow get released, which I find it hard to believe for right now. Down the road, for sure. Now, let's just check out, before we even jump into anything else, let's check out what we have for Milady. So you guys can see who bought the dip today. Ladies dropped down to about 67, and I freaking did not buy the dip today. I did not buy the dip. I freaking missed out on the dip. I was slightly, when this was going on, I was busy. I was watching Bitcoin, but I didn't even think to just go and check out what Ladies was doing, actually. And by the time I saw it, it already was like kind of on a V-shape recovery. But this is what I've been telling you guys. Remember yesterday, people were in the chats, and they were talking about, man, they're like, I really want to just keep dollar cost averaging in. And I said, even yesterday, not a terrible spot, but if you can have some patience, you might be able to find that 5 or 10% move. And that's what we saw today. We saw last night, Ladies was going parabolic last night. You guys see, we jumped up to almost 86 last night. You see that? And then if you map it out from where we topped out to where we bottomed, that was a 21% move from just the top to the bottom right here. But if you really look at where we were at yesterday trading, where were we at? Maybe we were somewhere around this area, about 77, 78. If you see from where it dipped down to, if you were to have that patience that we spoke about and you were able to catch this dip towards the bottom, that was a 15% discount that you got right there. So that's why I always preach, guys, patience is key. Patience is key. Di said, "What up, ladies fam? Going to the Panther hockey game. Nice." Adam said, "Sup, added $5 billion to my bag and my Jasmine's booming. Nice." Randy said, "Yes, it was a crazy day in a way." Just another day in crypto, right? Just another day in crypto. Looking at the bubbles, wow, we look so much different from yesterday, right? We look so much different from yesterday. Yesterday, we saw it was mostly all green, and a lot of projects were extremely red, extremely red. Now look at the biggest red. What is this Stark? Well, if you guys are familiar, StarkNet actually had a big airdrop today. I don't know if did anybody redeem any Stark of their air, or did anyone get any Stark in their wallets from the airdrop? I saw for Crypto.com particularly, I think all you had to do was like buy like $5 worth of like Crow or something like that, and they were gonna drop whatever it was into your wallet. I didn't really jump in because, like I said, today I was particularly busy, so I really wasn't involved in too much. I was watching the charts, but I wasn't really particularly watching what was going on with the airdrop. Let's see here. There was an article up here as far as that airdrop. Let's see here. I was looking for that airdrop news. I swear every time. Oh, there it is right there. So StarkNet token begins trading at $5 after mammoth airdrop. So it started trading at $5, and look where it's at right now. Look where it's at right now. It's at $3.37. Is it? Let's pull up. Yeah, it's at. Hold on a second here. Let's just pull it up on the charts. Look at that chart. This thing actually went all the way up to almost $8, and right now it's at $1.90. So you saw everybody and their mother, whoever got the airdrop, literally sold off immediately. So Ethereum rollup StarkNet has, let's see here, initiated this distribution of 728 million tokens to around 1.3 million addresses in what is being dubbed the largest airdrop of the year. StarkNet tokens pre-launch peripheral futures were trading at $1.80 on decentralized future platforms Aveo. The token traded as high as $5 on KuCoin minutes after its release and has since slumped back to around $3.50 in a volatile opening, and now it's at $1.90. With the initial total supply of 10 billion tokens of fully diluted value, the theoretical market capitalization is, if the entry of the supply were in circulation, of Stark standings at 35 billion. However, the actual market cap, which is the current circulating supply multiplied the current price, is around $3.2 billion. So they dropped, it says right here, 50.1% of Stark supply has been allocated to the StarkNet Foundation for community airdrops, grants, donations. 25% of the Stark total supply will be distributed to early contributors and investors, while 32% has been aligned to Starkware employees, consultants, and developer partners. The token will be unlocked every month for 31 months starting from April. StarkNet is a layer 2 network that makes use of zero knowledge cryptography, allowing decentralized applications operating on top of it to scale the Ethereum blockchain. It does this by building transactions off chain into a proof that is submitted to Ethereum, which in turn is supplied to process the transactions faster and lower fees for computing them. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. I feel like my brain is like running like halfway slow right now. So just to finish off, layer twos are network built up on top of base blockchains, layer ones to reduce bottlenecks. So this is basically, I'm sure it's a little different, but this is basically a really big layer 2 project, almost like Arbitrum, that just got released today, right? So, I mean, we'll have to see how this goes. You guys know what I say about whenever projects get released, to be very careful. If you didn't get airdropped, or if you weren't in the pre-sales, stay away from it from right now. For right now, stay away from it, because there's going to be, like we've already seen, a big sell-off. You know, there's going to be a big sell-off, and this thing's going to take probably a month or two for the dust to kind of settle and find some kind of a support where it's going to then eventually possibly start moving towards the upside, or kind of stay flat for a while, right? You can see the market cap for TradingView puts it at around $1.4 billion, which is a damn big, that's a big market cap for a layer 2 to just initially start from. That means they have a lot of, they say 30% was in pre-sales, right? That means they had a lot of money in pre-sale. They had a lot of money in pre-sale that's built up, and you can also see the circulating supply right now is only at 7%. I believe that article was stating that they were going to release some every month for for a while, right? So, you know, this project, not saying that it's not going to be probably a really good project, because it seems to be, it's got all the bells and whistles for a layer 2 on Ethereum. I'm just saying for right now, I wouldn't personally be buying in for right now. I would kind of just let it sit for a little while and see where this thing actually finds some support. You can see it started off trading on TradingView. You can see this thing jumped up above $7, and it has since then started dropping, and it's trading somewhere under $2 for right now. So if I was to take a guess, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing possibly finds some support somewhere around $1 or maybe a little bit under. That's what actually Arbitrum did when it got released. It dropped down to about $1, and it stayed at $1 for probably about a month or two before it started climbing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this project probably mimics closely to what Arbitrum did during its release. So now, should I have bought in on Arbitrum when it was at $1? Of course, because now Arbitrum just hit today. I believe Arbitrum itself is at around $2. So I mean, that was already a 2x. But I mean, you can see this thing has been making some strides, jumping up to $2.40 in the last week. So I mean, this project, this is Arbitrum. This is another layer 2 project that actually just got released less than a year ago on Ethereum as well. So I feel like there's a lot of layer 2s building on Ethereum, that's nothing but great for Ethereum, right? But there's going to be a lot of competition out there. So Craig said, I got 0.0039 Jasmy average. Nice. Craig said, hold on here. Let's see. Craig said, I sold 20,000 Jasmy right before it boomed. Still have 180,000 though. It happens. That's why it pumped, Craig. That's exactly why it pumped, because they were watching and they were waiting for you to sell that bag. And then they were like, they got the confirmation. Your transaction went through, and they were like, nice. All right, let's go. Pump it. Doesn't it feel like that sometimes? It does feel like that, right? When it's right when you particularly either buy in on a project or sell a project, it's like someone's sitting there waiting and watching for what you're doing, right? So if you buy in on a project, it's just gonna start dropping. But if you sell, this thing it hasn't done anything in 7 months. Right when you sell, an hour later, this thing is up 60%, right? I swear, it just feels like that, right? Because it happens to every single one of us. It really does. And it just honestly just means that we're just buying and selling sometimes not at the best moments, right? Is what it means. Drinking a beer, guys. Having a nice beer. Having a beer talking about crypto. We got 22 people in here and only 12 likes. Jeez. Should just cut the stream. I should just cut the stream, guys. It's just like, it's not even worth it anymore, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So let's get into the weeds. Let's get into the weeds here. Adam said Jasmine to 10 cents. You know, so I don't know if you guys saw, if you guys see or saw the video that I posted today. I put in, you know, price prediction for Jasmine. For right now, I was saying possibly somewhere around 10 cents, right? I'm not saying that it can't exceed 10 cents whatsoever. I just put in 10 cents because I felt that was a fair, conservative estimate that I can give, you know, without, you know, sounding crazy. And the logic behind that is because if you look at Jasmine, it's at, let's say it's at an even 1 cent right now. If it goes to 10 cent, which I honestly think it will exceed 10 cents, but I'm, you know, just throwing a base 10 cents, that would be a $5 billion market cap, right? So I'm not saying that this thing won't go to 10 or $20 billion market cap. Easily can, right? Easily can, especially if it has, you know, the country of Japan behind it, and there whatever's going on, you know, as far as, you know, big stuff behind the project with a country, you know, this thing could easily jump up to $20 billion, right? But I'm just throwing that out there, and I knew that I was going to get not crucified, but there was going to be people in the comments, and there was. Some people are calling for like a 50 cent, a dollar Jasmine, which, not saying it can't happen, but you guys understand what a dollar Jasmine, the market cap would be? That's a $50 billion market cap. Not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying that's a relatively big market cap. If in the days of right now, that would put Jasmine with the $50 billion market cap, that would put Jasmine somewhere around like the top 5 projects, right? So not saying that it can't happen, you know, I'm just saying to be realistic and to be on my conservative side, I like to just put out numbers, and I prefer that they get beat, right? I prefer that if I say 10 cents and then we look back a year from now and Jasmine's at 27 cents, I'm like, good, yes, I was wrong, but I'm happy that it actually exceeded what I predicted, right? Because I don't want to say, oh yeah, Jasmine's going to $1.50 and then it only goes to 14 cents, right? Because then on that end, it kind of looks bad, right? Because I'm not saying people are listening to me because I'm not giving out financial advice, right? I'm just giving out my opinion. But people do, you know, take your opinion and they'll run with it, right? So if I'm sitting here screaming $1.50 Jasmine, I don't want anyone to get wrecked, you know, or I don't want your expectations to be so high and, you know, it doesn't reach, you know, what you're expecting, right? So I might as well sell you a little lower, and then when it exceeds your expectations, then you're even happier, right? It's a win-win for us all. It's a win-win for us all. So let's see here. Nico said, what about Voxel? Isn't that a gaming? Could have sworn that's like gaming or something like that, right? So for this project, let's see here. We'll pull up a couple things here. First, beautiful bounce over this 200-day moving average. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And looking at the project, very, very small market cap. Look how small that is. What's this thing trading on? Binance. Nice. So small market cap gem trading on Binance. Not too bad. $28 million market cap. You can see this thing, you know, look at the bounces above. So it broke above the 200-day, and look, it went back, retested, confirmed, you know, that it was going to stay bullish, bounced right there exactly off that 200-day, and looked at this move that it made. Came back down and retested the 200-day again, and then it's back on another run. So, I mean, this project looks very bullish in my eyes. The fact that it's trading on Binance and that it is such a small market cap, this thing definitely could rip in this next bull run for sure. Let's see here. Pulling up a fib retracement. You can see the top of this fib, basically where this local high is around 28, 29 cents. And right now, sitting at around 24 cents, not too bad. Finding support right here at the 382. So if I was watching this project and I wasn't invested, waiting on the sidelines, I would probably wait to I'd have some patience, right? And probably wait to see if it's going to have some kind of a retracement. Somewhere around this 0.5 looks real juicy because you can see this was consolidating and it's bounced multiple times off this 0.5. That would be pretty much at the 20 cent mark, somewhere around there. If not, if you may get another option to where it might come back down and retest this 200-day moving average as it moves on, that would honestly be the line in the sand for it to stay bullish, right? And you know what? Yeah, that's the... Hold on here. So this is the 200-day. Yeah, this is the 200-day. I'm like, what? Why am I... It turned red. But yeah, this project looks bullish. Definitely staying above its 200-day moving average. So definitely looks good. Probably would be... I would imagine if it can continue to stay on this run, it's probably going to exceed this 29 cent mark right here for sure. So small market cap Binance, I would definitely just keep consolidating, adding to my bag. This thing will definitely pop in this next bull run for sure. Let's see what the supply is. 117 million. So this thing would only, if it needs to get, in order for it to get to $1, the market cap only needs to get up to 117 million as of now. So, I mean, that's not too bad. That's an easy 4X, honestly. Easy 4X right here in this next bull run. I'm just saying that, like, it could easily get to that. Obviously, it can do a lot more than a 4X, but this thing can easily get to $1 for sure. Randy said, wait, this isn't financial advice? I need to like go just get my degree so I don't have to say it, just so I don't have to say it anymore, right? I can be a financial advisor and be like, you know what? This is financial advice, right? Randy said, come on, guys, hit the like. Hit the like, hit the like. David said, see a further pullback before a bull run. You did call that yesterday, David. You did call that, and obviously what we were covering right at the beginning of the stream was a lot of volatility today, obviously because we have the FOMC minutes coming out tomorrow. I can barely even talk, bro. I can barely read or talk today. But we have the FOMC minutes tomorrow coming out, so pretty much what they're doing is it's a revised version of what the last Fed meeting was. You know, maybe a couple things they might critique, you know, an update, but anytime there's any of that stuff coming out right now, especially with the last CPI report being not as hot as they wanted it to be, right? We didn't meet expectations of that 2.9% inflation. You know, it's just giving a lot of uncertainty into the market. So that's why we saw that volatility today. And I'm honestly expecting tomorrow, because it's the day of the minutes being released, we might see maybe tonight as we approach, because I believe it's going to be released in the morning, we might see a little bit more volatility. But you guys honestly should be fully, you know, immune to it now, right? I mean, honestly, we saw just today, I mean, look what Bitcoin did. We jumped up to $53,000 today, right? Made a local high. And you know, another thing too, is remember I called this? I said that 53,000 was going to be a spot for some resistance. And that's exactly what we jumped up to this morning. We jumped up a little bit. I mean, $53,020, right? Jumped up, hit our head, and we obviously saw that big sell-off, dropping all the way down to 50,800. So what I'm getting to is, you know, you guys got to be pretty much immune to it now. As long as we're pretty much the line in the sand, we're holding above about 50,000 for right now. Even if we drop to 49 briefly, but it's quickly bought and we're back up into the 50s, we're still on track. We are perfectly fine. Still saying we're going to see probably a $60,000 Bitcoin as we approach the halving. So everything is still looking perfectly fine, honestly. So Gene said, I'm up 120% in Jasmine. My average cost was 0.003. That's what Craig said his average was. Fellas, let's see here. Fellas, kick that like button in the ass. I like that, David. Thank you. Craig said, I think buying Milady anytime with 7 zeros is a good buy. I mean, yeah, it pretty much is, right? Because even where we're at right now, right? Let's see here. Even where we're at right now, I mean, we're at $52 million, about right under $53 million market cap, right? So small, such a small market cap for a meme. I mean, we're going to see this thing absolutely go berserk. So buying in right now, and like I told you guys yesterday, a lot of people were asking, or they were basically saying they were going to be buying in yesterday, and I was like, don't let the FOMO kick in, right? Because you guys know how crypto is. We're not necessarily in a 100%, altcoin season yet, so we're going to see some dips along the way. Just take advantage of the dips. Take advantage of the dips. Take advantage of those, little 10% moves that we're going to see. Some of them might be a little bit more dramatic down the road, but if you were able to listen to what I said yesterday, you bought in today and saved yourself 15%, or you got 15% more Milady for that same dollar that you were going to spend, right? So that's why we always preach patience, guys, patience. So let's just run through the market real quick and see, and then we'll cover some other news. So I know you guys always are checking out Flare. We did drop Flare onto the watch list as of, I believe, yesterday, and you can see Flare hasn't even been affected as far as what the market's doing. This is a type of project that's really just kind of doing its own thing right now. Eventually it will be correlated with Bitcoin, but for right now, this project's been just steadily moving up, right? Did make a new local high right here at around the 3.5 cent mark. Since then, it has retraced only down to about the 3.3 cents. And you can see this red line. The red line is going to be your 200A SMA, and you can see it's pretty much been just bouncing off that 200A SMA. So as long as it's staying above those SMAs, this 200 to be particular, this thing most likely is going to continue its upward motion, right? So definitely looking good. We already looked at Jasmy, but we'll look at it again. Jumped up to a local high at around almost the 12 mark, and you can see we are not far right now. We're not far. I wouldn't be surprised if we're maybe forming some kind of a, not necessarily, no bull flag as of right now. You can see, look at all the SMA moving averages. They're all just parallel pointing up. That right there indicates that this project is very bullish right now, and we're most likely going to continue towards this uptrend that we're in right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we can break this 1188 mark, that Jasmy will continue to move towards the upside. As far as where are we going to possibly find some more resistance, we'd have to maybe zoom out and see some other levels. And let's look at it real quick, since Jasmy is the hot commodity for today. So you can see we haven't technically been into these price ranges since this is back in July of 2022. So it's been almost 2 years since Jasmy's been to where it was. And obviously when it was in this price range, it was on its way down, you can see. So let's map out a couple spots that I think are going to be some solid resistance, looking at previous moves. Let's see here. That's definitely one. And I'll explain my madness in a second here. Let me see something here. Yeah, that's another one right there. So these are going to be, for right now, these are going to be the two spots that we're mapping out. So we have, obviously we've already broke, but you can see we briefly broke this first spot for some, the first spot of resistance, which is going to be in that 11.7, and then the next spot's going to be that 12.2. Those are going to be two spots that I see that previously were spots for some resistance that we're going to need to flip over into some support. Right now, we did break, like I said, we broke this first spot of some resistance, but we didn't actually break it and find confirmation above it, right? So you can look, these two price actions or price points are not far away from each other, right? So I think once we break this first spot right here and we find some support above this right here at this 11.7, that's when I think Jasmy's really going to blow right past this 12.2, because it's really only like, what, a 4%, 5% move, I believe. Let's map it. Yeah, it's about a 4.5% move. So honestly, you can see we're forming. Look at this green candle that we're forming right now. Let's see if we hit our head on it. Look where we just hit our head on. Look where we literally just hit our head on, guys. I swear. It's like the chart gods. They blessed me. We didn't literally smack it almost exactly, but pretty much so close. Look at that. Let's see. Let's see. It's going up. It's going up again. Got rejected. Ain't that crazy? So this is going to be a spot. It's doing it again. Doing it again. Come on, come on, come on. Let's see a live crypto FUD effect boost. Let's see it. Let's see it. You know what we should do? Let's just zoom in. So we were just looking at the big candle was the day. Was the day candle. We just zoomed in all the way on the 3 minutes, and you can see. Look at this. So we have been breaking above this support. I mean this resistance, but we can't actually find support above it, right? So it looked like right here was our only time where we were forming candles above and trying to find a support on this level, but it quickly got rejected and broke below it, right? Came up, hit our head exactly on it. 1, 2, broke a little bit before above it. Candlestick got rejected. You can see again just now, same thing. Hit our head up above it, got rejected. So that's going to be the next spot for some solid resistance. But I'm not worried. I think Jasmy's got the hype behind it right now. Jasmy's the hot commodity, so we'll see how this works out. Let's move on, though, and let's look at a couple other projects. And if I haven't got to any of your questions, just keep asking me, and I'll jump into it. But let's see here. So Dottie said, I hope we delete a zero in the next few days, few weeks. It feels like it. Last night for Milady, and we'll check the charts here in a second, but we jumped all the way up to 85, almost 86. We were only 10% from eating up a zero as of last night. It's coming, Daddy. Don't worry. Don't worry. Let's see here. So Craig said I bought 70,000 XYO at 0.0063, so I'm up on that a little bit. Converted my Flare. Those are the funds I keep swapping. I went from PRQ to Swift to Flare and now to XYO. My boy is just moving around. You know, Craig, I'm not. I 100%. You know, do what you got to do. But you know, it's like, me personally, instead of like trying to time the market, I know you're making profits. You're making profits here, profits there, and then just moving into different projects and kind of doing the same thing. Perfectly fine. But you know, in this next bull run, you don't want to keep moving around, and then let's say we just go parabolic one day, and you're in between buys and sells. Let's say you just sold out of a project and you're looking to the next project. Well, we go parabolic. Now you're gonna have FOMO setting in. You know, and you're going to be like, damn it, I need to put my money into something, right? That's why me personally, even if I'm up, you know, on projects, for right now, I really haven't been wanting to time the market, right? I told you guys the only way I'm selling out of a project is if it does something like what Jasmy did today, where it jumps up and it's up like 60, 70% in like an hour. I might end up selling off and just waiting to reposition myself, possibly. But that's a risk, you know, that you have to think about as well, because you might end up selling and the project continues to move and it never goes back down, right? So me personally, trying to time the market as of right now, I'm not doing it. I leave that for like when I do my leverage trading and stuff like that. And you guys remember last night, it brings me up. Remember at the end of the stream last night, where were we at? We were right here. You guys remember at the end of the stream last night, and I opened up a long I told you guys I was opening up a long right before we ended the stream. And look, so I opened up a long and we ended up moving, right? And it was like I woke, because I fell asleep, it was like middle of the night, and I woke up, it was like 2 a.m. I was like, bro, last time I did that, I ended up getting my butt handed to, because we were like doing really well, and then I woke up the next morning and got liquidated. Like, it was just like out of nowhere. So I was like, you know what? I woke up, we were somewhere around here, somewhere around this area. I wasn't even up really much in the green, maybe like 10%. And I was like, you know what? I'm closing this position. And I closed my long, and it freaking jumped all the way up to 53,000, which would have been a nice like 80% leverage trade for myself if I would have just kept it open. But it is what it is. But that's my timing of the market that I do for right now. Other than that, for the long-term projects, I'm just buying and keeping them in for right now, just letting them be, because I'm just dollar cost averaging and stacking up right now on projects. Unless they go crazy parabolic, then I'll think about reallocating my funds and stuff like that. But jumping in on Bunk hasn't been doing too bad. You can see it hit its head right here at the 786, and since then it is cooling off around that 12 mark. If this thing is going to find some support, it might jump right back down towards this 10 mark right here. But, Bunk, I think, like I keep telling you guys, Bunk's going to be a solid project. It just has a very, very high market cap. So I personally have been staying away, right? If I'm going to buy in on Bunk, I'm just going to keep dollar cost averaging in on Milady for right now. But I do think Bunk's going to be a solid project for sure, like in this next bull run. Looking at Mavia, Heroes of Mavia. This project's been pretty hot too. You can see it did make its all-time high at around $10 a few days ago, making this M pattern. Look at this M pattern, right? Kind of like a double top, and then we saw the move towards the downside. So far, finding support at around $7.30, somewhere around there. So we'll have to see how this plays out, because you can see it is hitting its head now on some resistance at the 236 right here at $8.33. So we'll have to see how this plays out. If we are to jump in like myself, I'm looking for anything under the 382. So anything that drops under the 382, if it does, anything under that $6.75 would be a pivotal spot that I'm looking for to possibly jump in on this project. But if it doesn't do that, so be it. It's not for me. But I think this project is going to be a solid project. It's a game. This thing, the graphics, we looked at it on the website. This thing looks freaking insane. Looks insane. And Swift, we've been checking out Swift for a while. Nothing too crazy. This project is like a $10 million market cap. It's traded on Coinbase, so we have been covering it. We were talking about, is this Taylor Swift's project? We found out absolutely not, right? No correlation with the artist Taylor Swift, but a little meme coin that is traded on Coinbase that, like I said, has a $10 million market cap. This thing has found some support right here at the 26, where we've had mapped out. Particularly for myself for this project, not really too tempted on buying in. We have been watching. If this thing nosedives and goes anywhere down towards this 19, where it found some massive support, I'd maybe jump in, because if it does that kind of a move, you're looking at a $10 million market cap going down 25%, going down to probably around $6 or $7 million on Coinbase, right? This is a Coinbase project, so it's traded on Coinbase. So I think if you're able to catch this project when it drops down to like $6 million, if you can just have patience, get a little bag or a solid bag, I think you'll find a spot in this next run, like bull run, where this thing will probably go crazy on a quick parabolic move before it kind of comes back down, right? PRQ. So me personally, I told you guys that I actually started buying in on PRQ. When it jumped down to this support level right here at 16 cents, I told you I was going to start buying in. But remember yesterday, I started buying in yesterday, and I told you guys that I didn't go like crazy buying in. I just bought a solid bag, and that I was going to continue to dollar cost average in, because it looked like it wanted to take a dip. And that's exactly what it did today. It dropped all the way down towards the 14.95, and I was literally all day today just buying in, adding to my bag, just bringing that 16-cent average down towards these lower levels. So definitely this project right here, small market cap. This project, let's look at it real quick. I believe this thing is traded on Coinbase as well. Let's see here. Yep. Another project that's traded on Coinbase and a lot of other major exchanges. I believe this has affiliates with AI, right? And it's $33 million market cap. So very, very small market cap. So definitely a potential, to see this thing possibly get to $1. The circulating supply is only at 210 million coins in circulation. So for this thing to get to $1, the market cap would only need to get to 210 million, right? Very, very easy, especially in this bull run that we're basically already entered in. So this project, particularly for myself, was a solid bag that I'm picking up, and I'm just going to continue to add in with anticipation that we could see this dollar maybe possibly down the road. So we'll see how that goes. But for right now, as far as buying in, anything under this support level that we have at the 16 cents is a buy in my eyes. Market cap right now at around $30 million. This market cap smaller than Milady. So, I mean, for me, definitely a solid buy, especially if we continue to have these little dips. I'm just going to continue to just keep dollar cost averaging in, right? Because I think down the road, this thing has potential to possibly get to that $1 mark. And I know Craig's going to be so mad if it gets to $1 because he sold out. Now, Myro. Told you guys I bought in on Myro. This was probably a few weeks now when it dropped down to about 5 cents. I just bought in. I told you 5 cents. My theory is for Myro is I want to just see if this thing could maybe get close to $1, right? I want to see maybe in this next bull run if this thing will possibly get close to $1. I know it's a far-fetched kind of move, but I didn't put too much money in Myro. But for Myro to get to $1, the market cap would have to get to right under $1 billion. This is a meme coin, a pretty hyped up meme coin. Had a lot of hype a few months ago when it first dropped on Solana. But this, for this to get to $1, it only needs to get up to, like I said, about $944 million. So a little bit more than the last project I was talking about, but this thing can make some waves. And even if I see, so I remember I bought in at $5, even if I see this thing jumped up back up to its highs at around 25 cents or anything above 25 cents, I'd probably be looking to maybe sell off, because that would be, even at 25 cents, is a 5x from where I'm at right now, right? So I'll have to see how I'm feeling, but definitely holding off. I could have sold right here at 11, and I was like, you know what? I don't even have too much money into it, so I'm just going to let it ride, right? It's just funds that are just sitting there. I'm going to let it just ride. Fetch. Look at Fetch. You guys know we've been covering Fetch for a while, since Fetch was at 15 cents, right? And I was screaming, this was a while back, that Fetch is going to definitely break that dollar mark in this next bull run. And look at this. At the beginning of the bull run, this thing is already trading at around $1.05. This thing has gone so parabolic, right? But so have a lot of AI projects. A lot of AI projects have gone crazy. And I contribute this, honestly, to NVIDIA last week coming out with their earnings and 100% shattering expectations and just exceeding what predictions were for their earnings. And they did just I'm trying to think of the word, like, to explain, like, the adjective, to explain how well they did, right? But they did so well that it just brought up the whole AI world. So not only is NVIDIA traded on stocks, right, the stock market, but it brought that momentum into the crypto market and AI projects on crypto. So Fetch AI sitting at $1.05, beautiful. I'm not lying to you guys when I say in this next bull run, or I'm sorry, in the middle of this bull market that we're going to be in, that we're going to be talking about a $2 Fetch easily, right? ICP's been, I feel like ICP's doing really well, but it's been kind of quiet lately, right? Feels like the hype has gone down a little bit, right? It's been a little bit quiet again. But look how freaking like crazy this chart looks right here. Since it dropped and bounced cleanly at the 0.5 right here, you can see this thing has been just like gradually just moving, right? Just gradually moving, like you're just not going to stop this thing regardless, right? So you can see the local highs right here are $16.27. And right now it's trading just under that $14 mark. So this thing's easily going to break above this $16 mark. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some kind of a $20 ICP in the next few weeks if things continue to move. So XRP making a beautiful M pattern as we speak. Well, it already played out, but if you can see this beautiful double top M pattern, it slightly broke toward the bottom side, finding support at around 54 cents. But really, trying to hold its gains. The one thing that I've been telling a lot of people that I don't particularly like about this chart is that it is trading under its 200-day moving average as of right now. It is trading under its 200-day moving average. So for me personally, short term, I'm a little bearish on this project. A little bearish. A lot of people have been kind of riding off XRP because it didn't do what they expected, right? Everybody was expecting after the case was settled for XRP that this thing was going to go up to $5 easily, and it didn't do that, right? It jumped up right under $1, I believe, but it really since then has kind of moved down and found some support around that 50-cent mark, and it's really just been staying around there. Well, it has, since that, it bounced plenty or multiple times over here at the 49-50-cent mark. It has obviously it jumped up to about 57-58 cents, but quickly being rejected, like I said, under the 200 days. So, for me personally, I think this project in the long run is going to do very well, right? The market cap is a little too high in my eyes, but I think this project's going to do really well. Especially, I wouldn't be surprised if they have some tricks up their sleeve down the road and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to be the currency for this country or something crazy like that, right, for XRP. And that some kind of news like that's going to shoot this thing up to that $5 that everybody's been looking for. So, but I think if none of that kind of news comes out, naturally I think XRP will get up to probably around $1.50, $2 easily. Remember, before you start coming at me all crazy, the market cap for this project is at like $40 billion, right? This thing, I mean, that's a lot. So I'm sitting here saying this thing could easily jump up a 4 or 5x, going up to hundreds or $200 billion market cap in this next bull run, which would be, I mean, that's a crazy move right there, right? If only we could get Fetch to jump up to $200 billion, we would all be like insanely rich. We already looked at Arbitrum. Arbitrum's really, a layer 2 project that I really believe in. Milady is traded on a layer 2 Arbitrum. Obviously, Milady is a Ethereum contracted project, but it is off of the Arbitrum network. Arbitrum is a layer 2 that runs off of Ethereum. So, like I said, we want to see Arbitrum do really well, and I think this project is solid. We always bring up DeFi, DeFi. And looking at the volume for DeFi for today, Ethereum, 1.6 billion. Solana, about 700 million. Binance at $3 billion. And Arbitrum at $700 million. Arbitrum is technically has more volume today than Solana. Take that in. What have I been telling you guys about Arbitrum? This is a solid layer 2 that I feel like, either you know or you do know, right? It's like this project is like I'm telling you, it's like one of those projects that not everybody and their mother is focused on right now. A lot of people know about it, right? But not everybody is too familiar with Arbitrum. They see it, they're like, oh yeah, Arbitrum, but I don't think they comprehend the numbers that Arbitrum's doing, the amount of projects that are being built off of Arbitrum, right? You saw the volume for today, more than Solana, and Solana has a solid DeFi ecosystem, right? So Arbitrum is doing something right there, and I think Arbitrum will easily get up to like $5, maybe $10 in this next bull run for sure. Jumping over to ALI. ALI is another AI project, that's been doing really well. Woke up from the dead in the last few days ago, and it jumped up, topped out at around almost 5 cents right there. I mean, if you really map out from this bottom point right here to where it topped out right here, 150% in the last like 3 days, this thing has jumped up. So definitely looking good. Like I said, a lot of the AI projects are all running off of NVIDIA, the earnings and stuff like that. So we'll have to see if they can continue to hold their gains, right? I did jump out of ALI. I told you guys I was buying in when we were down around these areas, and I did ride it up and eventually sold somewhere around like 3.5, right under the 4 cent. So, but I made profits, not upset about it, and I am watching, if this thing does, have some kind of a cool off period under anywhere where I sold, I'll be looking to jump back in. So, speaking of Solana, you guys notice that Solana really hasn't been, I mean, it's up, don't get me wrong, but Solana hasn't, I feel like Solana is kind of, there's not a lot of people talking about Solana for this last few weeks. I feel like not the hype is dying out, but it's just kind of like it's like the dust is settled. You go back a month, 2 months ago, and everybody's like freaking trading off Solana DeFi, and everybody, it's what meme coins dropping today on Solana. Dog with that, Myro, Bunk, you can go down the list. It's like Solana. Now, I mean, Solana definitely is still up there, but it's like a lot of people, the hype has started to dwindle down, right? And dwindle down. So, but I think in this next bull run, as we continue, Solana is just going to continue that momentum, right? They do a very good job at having developers come onto their ecosystem and build off their ecosystems. And that's why I always tell you guys about Chronos. A lot of us are big on, Chronos and their DeFi. They need to step up their game and bring in a lot of people to build off their ecosystem, particularly like meme coins, to bring in that hype, for them to bring in that volume for the DeFi for Chronos. Let me just jump in on the chat real quick. So Craig says Milady will eat 2 zeros during the peak. That's reasonable. Adam said, I hope it eats 3 zeros. I'll sell half my position. David said, I think we'll do 2 zeros, but not 3 zeros. We'll have to see how that goes. MiX came in with the 3 muscles. All right. And Koktoshi, name is just hilarious. Koktoshi, no trip, buy some dip. Troy said, main it, Milady to the moon. And BP said, let's go, Milady gang. We are here live. Drop them like bombs for my boy. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, we're doing good on likes. We're doing pretty good. We can do better, but we're doing great. And Randy said, well, I gotta run. Great job again. See you tomorrow. All right, Randy, we'll see you tomorrow, bro. And Craig said, that's why Bunk ain't doing nothing. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying, because Solana, I mean, still $108 for Solana. It's doing great, right? I mean, it's still doing great. We'll have to see how it moves. I think, once Bitcoin kind of starts jumping back up and we get up to like, $60,000 Bitcoin, Solana is going to break that 126, I think, easily, right? And we'll probably be looking at like $150 Solana down the road. And what's this project right here? This project looks like it has potential. What is this? This is Milady. Milady. So let's see what Milady's doing. So as of today, obviously we saw that dip and it bounced almost cleanly right here at the 0.5, right? 0.5. I didn't catch the dip. Didn't get the dip, guys, but I'm going to keep my eyes and be a little bit more, have more due diligence on that. I just feel like I'm sitting on a solid bag right now, right? I know we all are, but like I always tell you guys, we're going to want more. Still sipping that beer. So gonna have to keep my eyes on this dip, because that wasn't a bad buy-in right there, or to add to the bag. I think it would have been higher. Yeah, it's higher than what I have my average. That's the only thing. It's like I don't know if it's ego or what, but do you guys? What are your thoughts? So like, let's say right now your average buy-in for Milady's is at like 52, right? Do you still buy this dip? I mean, obviously the answer is yes, right? Because long term, we know that it even buying this dip is going to be a great move, right? But it's like, I guess I wasn't too motivated to buy the dip, just because I'm like, man, my average is lower than what that dip is, right? I'm not trying to bring my average up, but at the same time, I guess you got to just put all that away and know where we're at and where we're headed. And a dip like that is just really the chance to accumulate more Miladys, right? That's how you have to look at it. So if we do have the opportunity to get into these numbers again, I will be buying in and adding to my bag for sure. Right now we are hovering right around that 72 mark. So we did jump up after this V-shaped recovery. We have jumped up to around 73. So I mean, we're still doing great. We're still keeping some of these gains. You guys know that Milady's is going to have more dramatic moves, because the market cap is fairly smaller than pretty much any other project. So you're going to see the projects with smaller market caps, they're going to have the more dramatic moves, whether it's towards the downside or the upside, right? So, and it works in our favor for both, right? Because if you're trying to dollar cost average in, and let's say Bitcoin drops a few percent, you're going to see a dramatic move for Milady, so you can take advantage and just buy in, right? And then towards the upside, same thing. When Milady starts moving, she moves, and she moves fast. We all know that, right? So we all know that. So but not worried. I think Milady's is just doing perfectly fine. We all knew that we're going to see some of these retracements as we're moving up, right? And what we'll do is 2 months down the road when we're freaking like all the way up here, I'm going to purposely come back and find this little ass dip. And I'm going to be like, you guys remember this dip? No, neither do I, right? But I'm just going to, just so I can just bring it back to that, just to prove that this is how it works when we're moving up, right? You're going to have these local highs, and then you're going to have these retracements, right? But as long as we're holding the gains as we're moving up, we're solid. We're still good. And then obviously we already covered Ethereum. Big story for today. Ethereum broke $3,000, so nothing but good. Ethereum being the king of all alts, we want to see Ethereum just keep moving, right? We want to see Ethereum just continue to move. So Caspa has been a big mover for the last week or two, and you guys can see even Caspa took a nice little dip today, right? Looking like she made, I think a lot of projects today are looking like this. We're a V-shaped recovery, but we're not back up to where we were at. We're not back up to where we're at just yet. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow if we see some more volatility because the Fed minutes are going to be released tomorrow. So, just brace yourself for tomorrow and be ready because you might have some dip opportunities once again tomorrow. But I think after that, we're going to be pretty much on to the races, right? We have the halvening basically coming out. The only thing that's in between now and the halvening is the March Fed meeting, right? And we pretty much already know. We already looked at it yesterday, but we can bring it up again. We already know what they're calling for. We already know what they're calling for. For March, basically 92%, they're calling for just basically another Fed pause, right? If we do possibly see any kind of a reduction, it's going to be 0.25%, but the market's pretty much set that we're not seeing any kind of a reduction for this meeting coming up. And I believe that we're going to start seeing the same thing for May as well, where for May, we might, for right now, you can see 67% is calling for basically predicting that we're going to see another pause in May. Before the CPI numbers came out a few weeks ago, this was at like 90, or we were at like, it was like 70% over here that for sure we were going to see some kind of a quarter or a 50%, a quarter or 0.5% rate reduction in the interest rates. Well, now it's switched over, and you have about 67% calling for a prediction that we're going to probably just see another pause. Now, as we get down the road, looking at some of these predictions, it really doesn't matter as of now because things are going to change as we move, right? Things are going to change as we move, but people as of now have shifted from May to June as far as them seeing some kind of a rate reduction as far as in interest rates for the Fed. So we'll see how that goes. But what I was saying was that we have this meeting that's going to be coming out next month. This is going to be in between now and the halvening, right? So pretty much volatility we're going to have tomorrow, right? And then I think we're going to continue to, we're going to probably see us start moving back up after tomorrow, right? Maybe let's say we have another day or morning at least where it comes out, things are released, and we come somewhere around this 200-day, right? Maybe we break below it like we saw, whatever. And then as of, the next few days, we'll probably see us most likely start moving back up, regaining the gains, retesting that 53,000 mark, exceeding the 53,000 mark, getting somewhere around 53 to 55,000. We're getting closer into March. We have the Fed meeting come out. Feds indicate that there's going to be some kind of just a pause. We'll probably see another, somewhat of a dip from there. But then after that is when I think we're going to be on to the races. In between the Fed meeting and the halvening is where I think we're going to see probably the most gains. And that's going to be probably about a 2 to 3 week period from March into April that we're going to probably see Bitcoin just go parabolic. And that's where I think we're going to really see some solid moves towards that $55,000, $60,000 mark, if not exceeding that. So that's what I'm predicting as of now. We'll see how it plays out as we get closer to the dates. But for right now, everything's looking good. All I can say is for myself is that I'm just going to keep watching and eating these dips up, right? I'm going to continue to eat these dips and just continue to just focus on the future as far as where we're headed. We know where we're headed. We know where the whole market's going. We know what we're holding as far as Milady. We know this thing is going to at least get up to $1 billion or $2 billion. So from right now, from where we're at right now, that's a 40x. So we'll have to just take it day by day, but just make sure you guys stay solid. Looking at Bitcoin dominance, still dropping at around 51.6, and look at the market cap at almost right under that $2 million market cap. You guys remember what I was saying. I think that the $2 million market cap is where we're hitting our head for right now. Like, I mean, it's like it's like looking at a chart for Bitcoin. It's a resistance spot. That $2 trillion mark. Did I say 2 million? I meant to say 2 trillion. That 2 trillion mark for the market cap. This is for the market cap of the whole crypto market. We have been right under 2 trillion for a while. Like, not for a while, but for the last few weeks, we've been really trying to get above it. So we will exceed it, but I think it's just one of those pivotal spots for the market cap. A lot of people don't think of resistance and support on market caps, but I mean, it's definitely, as I've been following it, it looks to me as we've been basically just hitting our head on it. Let's look for the last month. I wish they would give me a better chart. But you guys can see this is for basically this is for 2024, and you can see as we've been moving up. Look how we've kind of hit our head again, and now we're retesting that $2 trillion mark. So we're eventually going to break it. And while we're here looking at the fear to greed, we are still sitting at right here. Where are we at right now? We are still sitting at around that 74 mark. So it looks like it's curving down a little bit. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we jump up into the extreme greed as we get closer towards the halving, which, historically isn't the best for the markets. But I think as we get into in the middle of this bull run and we start approaching into the middle of the bull run, we're going to probably be in extreme greed for a little while, right? So it's just it's all part of the nature. Everybody starts getting really greedy, and that's where I tell you guys, we have to have an exit plan. Not anytime soon, not anywhere near there, but eventually, when everybody is calling for $1 million Bitcoin or their project just 50x and they're thinking that it's going to do another 200x, that's when that greed is just setting in, right? Setting in so much, and that's usually when people start getting wrecked. So, but we're good. We're nowhere near that for right now, so we're good. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave it there. We will be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Hopefully tomorrow, like I said, expect some volatility. So if you got anything from what I said today, expect maybe a little bit of a dip or retracement back towards this fib retracement. Somewhere around the 66 mark. It looks like we have been holding some support. So just watch that. I'll be eating up the dip, so make sure you guys are taking advantage of it as well if you're able to. But other than that, guys, before you leave, make sure you guys hit that like and hit that subscribe. And I appreciate everything that you guys came and spent time with me tonight. And I will be back here tomorrow. I thank you guys so much. Have a great, safe night. See ya.